This is a continuation of the conversation that I said will be ongoing. Hip hop turns 50. Well, the Grammys have taken place. And there's a lot to uncover when you're talking about hip hop culture and the Grammys. Now, we already know about the muddy history of the Grammys in hip hop music. Let's talk about last night in particular. Let's talk about the 50 years of rap celebration that occurred on the Grammys, where you had Grandmaster Flash, Salt and Pepper, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes, Public Enemy. You had all these people who mean so much to the culture. In the mix of people who don't mean shit to the culture. I know that, hip hop turns 50 this year, and a lot of people want to include the last 2 decades of hip hop in the spectrum. I easily deny the last 2 decades of the hip hop because it has become a joke. It has become the crying game. For those who are too young not to know what the crying game is, I'm going to use something that you can identify with. For those who are from the 90s and from my era, you know what I mean by saying the rap game is the crying game today. But for those who are young and don't know what I'm talking about, the rap game is P Valley today. You can see that by the dress code that some of the people wore last night. It was very weird. It was very satanic. It was very demonic. Some of the outfits didn't make no fucking sense. But I digress. Let's talk about hip hop. Let's keep it hip hop. Kendrick Lamar won Best Rap Album. A lot of people have voiced their opinions and said it wasn't his best work. I will even say it's not his best work. It's not a classic album. It's a good album, but it's not classic. At the most, four mics, I give it. But out of everything that was nominated, if he got the Grammy, I don't have a problem with that because Kendrick represents the saving grace of this generation. Meaning, without him, Cole, and Crit, this generation would be washed. Easy. Now, let's talk about what people are not talking about that happened last night. Supposedly, and this is just supposed because I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because just like I said on my friend DJ Man's live earlier, it is an extremely delicate situation when anybody has lost their life. I don't like to speak on loss of life or circumstances that may have led up to it. Why? Because there's a lot of people doing that. There's a lot of people on the internet and on their phone playing police detective. I don't like that. I feel like if you were there or if you're a part of what's going on, you have a right to speak on that. But for those who are not, for those who are fans, for those who are fans who never met these people in your life, the opinions of those people don't matter. But what happens is anything that hits news that becomes public record becomes a topic of conversation for everyone. And everyone has an opinion and they chime in on it. But last night it has been reported that remaining members of the Migos had a fight backstage before the tribute performance took place. Add to that what's already going on the internet involving Mr. Prince. Um, I don't, I don't feel no way either way about that, but I know I'm not gonna touch that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, life has been lost. I'm not a detective. I'm not a part of either entourage. So I really don't have nothing too much to say about it, other than the fact that it has been reported. And that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. Now let's get back to hip hop. Watching Queen Latifah and all these legendary hip hop artists, and then you hear new age rap, and it makes you appreciate the old rap even more. Let's be real. I mean, the records that they was performing from the 90s are still better than what's out today. Despite how popular they were or how much records they sold. That shit is still better than the shit that comes out today. That's fun, but nobody's willing enough to come out and say that. Rap, hip hop culture turns 50 years old this year. I think it's the first thing we should do. We should bury this ageism conversation. Let's bury that because you losing it. Whoever's hanging on to the age thing in rap or trying to attach ageism with rap music, you done already failed miserably. Let's kill that because I don't ever want to hear that ever again in life. If I hear anything about ageism in rap again, I'm gonna lose it because it's been proven what I've been saying the last couple of years. And for those who are unclear, here go again. The best rappers are in their late 30s, 40s, and 50s. Why? Because they have the most skill, the most style, the most experience, and more likely to create classic material. And everybody whack is under the age of 30. Evidence, none of them have a classic anything. A classic anything. Mixtape, song, feature, album, collab album. It don't matter. And I know why that conversation exists because the money stream in hip hop is different now. See, back in the 90s, there was no streaming, there was no digital sales. Artists were not as business savvy back then as they are now. See, now a lot of information is right at your fingertips. Now, to be honest with you, if you're an artist and you want to be screwed, that's because you want to be screwed. Because all the information is out there. All you got to do is go find it and read it. If you want to be wealthy, successful, as far as finances is concerned, involving with music, you would know to know your business and have your business in as tight as possible.